Hey guys, we're going to do lesson 2.4 from our algebra book today. We're going to talk about how can you solve multi-step inequalities. So that's going to be our focus today. So in class we've been learning how to solve inequalities, and we're going to focus this lesson on multi-step inequalities. So inequalities where when we're solving, there's more than one, more than one step to them. So let's take a look at what that's going to be like. We're going to start with example 1, our very first problem. So example 1 is solve and graph the solution. And here is our problem. 5x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 11. Now you can pause the video and write this down whenever you need to, but I'm going to go after this problem and start solving. So first off, we're going to put a line down the middle and just start getting x all by itself. So I'm going to add the 4 to the other side. That's going to be my first step. Move the 4 over. Then I'm going to get 11 plus 4 is 15. So I have 5x is greater than or equal to 15. Then I'm almost done. The only last step is I have to divide by 5. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And I'm going to get 15 divided by 5 is 3. So x is greater than or equal to 3. And that's my answer. So I'm going to circle that and make my answer really clear. And I'm going to graph this solution on a number line. X is anything greater than or equal to 3. So here's my number line. I'm going to put 0 in the middle, and I'm going to be sure when I draw my number line, you can kind of slow down if I'm going fast here, but I'm going to make sure to get 1, 2, 3 on there. And 3 is going to have a solid point. It's got an equal sign, so it's solid at 3, and X is all the greater than values, all the values going to the right-hand side. X could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 100, 1,000, a million. It can be anything bigger than 3 or equal to 3. Okay, so that's a multi-step problem. So let's try another one. Example 2. Solve and graph the solution. So here is our problem. B over negative 3 plus 4 is less than 13. B over negative 3 plus 4 is less than 13. Okay, I'm going to put a line down the middle, and I'm going to flip the 4 over and subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to minus 4, minus 4. Then I'm going to be left with this b over negative 3 is less than 9. So b over negative 3 is less than 9. Now I got to move the negative 3 over by multiplying it. So I'm going to multiply negative 3 to both sides. That's going to get rid of those negative 3's on the left. It's going to get rid of what I wanted. And 9 times negative 3 is a negative 27. So I get this b is less than negative 27. Now this is the one you have to be careful about. In class we've been talking about when you multiply or divide by a negative, it's kind of a weird case. You have to flip the symbol. We talked in class about the reasons for this, but yeah, you got to flip that sign around. So I'm actually going to change it to b is greater than negative 27. B is anything bigger than negative 27. Don't believe me? Well, test a point. Pick something bigger than negative 27 and see if it works. It should work in this problem. So we're going to put it on a number line and be all set to go here. So first off, on a number line, b is greater than negative 27. I'm kind of thinking like numbers-wise, maybe count by like 5s or something. Because 27, you don't really want to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 27. So I'm going to go by 5s. I think 5s would be easy. And negative 27 is going to be somewhere kind of down on the end there. So I'm going to circle negative 27. And then I'm going to make sure to highlight all the values greater than that. So all the values to the right. I'm not going to fill in. I'm going to leave that hole empty. I'm not going to fill it in and make it solid because there's no equal sign. B is anything greater, not equal to negative 27. And so that's going to be my number line. All right, so now you try. I'm going to give you 3 problems. Here they are. I want you to pause the video and try all 3. Test this out because if you can do these, if you do all 3, then you know you're understanding what we've done so far. So here it is. Pause the video, solve them, graph them, and see if you get them right. Okay, so hopefully you are now unpausing the video. You've done all 3 problems, A, B, and C, and you're checking your work to see if you understand what you're doing. So here are the answers. For A, you should have gotten y is greater than 2, with an empty hole on 2 shaded to the right. For B, you should have got D is less than or equal to negative 5. So solid point at negative 5, all the less than values. And then for C, you should have got W is less than -4. It was one of the ones where you had to flip the sign. So you have an empty hole on -4, shaded to the left. If you got any of those wrong, you should pause the video and try and figure out why. What was the mistake that you made? Okay, but moving on, if you're ready, example 3. Let's look at a multiple choice problem. We don't talk in class about multiple choice enough, so let's look at a multiple choice problem. Here it is. Which graph represents the solution of -7, parentheses, x plus 3, is less than or equal to 28? We have 3 possible answers here, A, B, C, or D. We want to know which one's the right one. So to figure out the answer to my question, really, I probably should just solve for x to figure this out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a line down the middle of this problem and solve for x. And I see the parentheses, so I see distributive property right in front of me here. I'm going to distribute the -7 in. I'm going to get a -7x, and then I'm going to get a -21. -7 times 3 is a -21. So I'll add 21 to both sides. I'll get 28 plus 21 is 49. And then I'll divide by -7 to both sides. Now when I divide by a -7, it's one of these weird cases again. 49 divided by a -7 is a -7, but I'm going to have to flip the symbol. So it's another flip the sign problem. I divided by a negative, I flip the symbol. So just something we have to memorize here. So I'm going to change it out. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of fireworks here making it look exciting, but I'm going to flip that symbol to x is greater than or equal to -7. Now, if that's my answer, remember x is, we said, greater than -7, we want to find the number line that's going to match up to that. So here's my ABC choices in my multiple choice question. We just got this as an answer. X is greater than or equal to -7. So pause the video and pick A, B, C, or D. Hopefully you said B has a solid point of -7 shaded to the right. B is our answer to this problem. Okay, so how many of you have ever watched this weight loss challenge show before on TV, The Biggest Loser? I'm bringing this up because in the show, they have to weigh in. All the players weigh in each week and they're trying to lose weight. So each week they get up on this big scale and there's a screen in the background posting, their current weight and their starting weight and showing what the difference is. Well, that relates to our last example today, example 4. We're going to talk about a contestant in a weight loss competition who wants to lose an average of 8 pounds per month during a 5-month period. So how many pounds must the contestant lose in the 5th month to meet the goal? And we have this table. If it was me taking notes, I probably would copy this table down. It shows a progress report. It has month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4. And it shows how much weight was lost. Month 1, 12 pounds. Month 2, 9. Month 3, 5. Month 4, 8. We want to know, what should the 5th month be? That's what we're trying to figure out. What should happen in the 5th month? Now, on average, they want to lose at least 8 pounds per month. So, we talk about in class story problems, we want to go facts and variables, and we want to solve. We kind of have a process to these story problems. Well, the facts in this problem is the table. That's my facts that I'm going to write down. The 8 pounds per month, 8 pounds per month on average for 5 months, that's also an important fact that I want to write down. 8 pounds per 5 months. So I'm going to list that out. The part that says at least is a huge clue word for me. I'm going to write that down as a fact as well. At least, because that tells me it's an inequality. So let's talk variables. Let's define some variables. How about we let x be the 5th month that we don't know? Let that be our variable. Let x equal our 5th month. I'll even add it to the bottom of my table there. Then I'm going to write an equation. 12 pounds the 1st month, plus 9, plus 5, plus 8, plus x. I don't know what the last pounds are in the 5th month, so I'm going to let x be that last one. All divided by 5 is going to give me my average. All divided by 5 is going to be my average. So I've got to solve this equation, but I need a little more information. Remember we said at least 8 pounds? At least means it has to be equal to or greater than 8. There's my equation. This thing's got to be solved, this big fraction, greater than or equal to 8. So, line down the middle, we're going to solve this thing. I'm going to make it really easy by combining all that 12 plus 9 plus 5 plus 8. That's 34 when you add all that up. 34 plus x over 5. So with it being a big fraction, we better get rid of that 5 and multiply it to the other side. Timesing the 5 to the other side makes 8 times 5, which is 40. So 34 plus x is greater than or equal to 40. Much easier now. Subtract the 34 from both sides, and we're going to have an answer of x is greater than or equal to 6. There's our final answer. Which means, if that's our answer, the contestant must lose 6 pounds to meet his goal to have an average of 8 or more. So the contestant must lose 6 pounds to meet his goal. Now this last example here is kind of an application problem, but it's just kind of demonstrating multi-step inequalities. You just solve it just like a regular equation, but you have to pay attention to that greater than less than symbol. And don't forget to flip it if you're multiplying or dividing by a negative. Alright guys, I hope you got all that written down. Please go back and watch it a second time if you need to, and I'll see you in class.